everyone. Welcome back to my stream. Figured tonight I'm going to do just a short stream, kind of catch up on this, what we're doing. I'm continuing the build of the Sikorsky CH-53 GS/G by Revell, 1/48 scale, skill level 5. Which doesn't mean all that much, it just means Revell has taken the time to make a nice colored instruction booklet and have a few more parts than they would on a lower skill level. That's really all it is. It's not any more difficult to assemble. There's just a few more parts. The quality of the build is not any better. There's just more parts. So that's pretty much it. So last time we started getting a little bit of the interior together of the cockpit, assembled the seats. As you can see, I've done a little bit more since my last stream. Painted this strip down here gray with the black, got all the components of the cockpit put together. There's really not a lot, there's not a huge amount of detail. There's a little bit on the dash, but it's kind of hidden there in the instrument cluster, but that's about it. It's not too much. Yes, it is, it's coming along, but we're still in the beginning stages. As you might notice, this is now a different colored gray than it used to be, as this thing is molded in a very, very light gray. So what I've done is, this is now the light ghost gray that I said I was going to paint. Right there, that color. Inside the cockpit section, of course, we've got the black. Got a little bit of that gray color continuing on the inside here. We have some detailing on the inside here that I will start working on. And yeah, that's about it. You might notice on the nose there, I've got it looks like a little bit darker gray. That is the dark ghost gray on there, because of the way this thing is painted. I wanted to get that section done right away before we get it all put together and have a bunch of stuff on there. I also went ahead and I masked off all the clear for the window and painted all that, including that darker gray that goes along the top of the roof there. Let's see if I can get that in this one. You can see it makes it look like there's around the windows are a lighter gray, and that of course is the light ghost gray. Now you might be noticing right here that looks a bit smudged, and you'll notice that on this side also. So I made the mistake. I did not realize that these two sections were windows until later on I was done and I started looking at some pictures of this helicopter and realized those are not filled in. Those are actual windows. So I took my old alcohol here and Q-tip and I got rid of that paint. But in doing so, the cotton swab kind of just smudged up the clear a little bit. And so that's got a bit of a fog on it now. And that's just something I'm going to have to live with. I'm not into polishing compounds and stuff like that to make that clear come up nice and glossy like it was before. It's just something I'll have to live with. It's not going to be the end of the world when it's on the helicopter. It's just the way it is. So that's that. Oh, and I painted the inside of the little bucket for the front landing gear. It's going to go in there at some point. And that's kind of where we are at today. So, as per the instructions, I have the interior parts of the cockpit all put together. And we're going to take a look at the next page and see what the next step is. Now, it looks like they want me to drill a whole bunch of little holes in the cockpit. or in the hull, at a whole bunch of different points. So I'm going to see if I can determine where each one is. I guess there's a bunch of different options as to the engine assortment or whatever that goes on this thing, depending if it's a GS or a GS/G, or I think there was one term, I think it calls it a super or something like that. GS version, G plus, and GS version. Yeah, a G plus or a GS are the two different options. We are going with the GS, not the G plus. So, what they don't tell me here is which holes would be for which. So they've got the question mark, like, hey, do you want to do this or not? But then they show me every single hole to drill through. So, I guess I'm drilling through every single hole. So, that being said, I gotta get my little hand drill. Determine the size of holes I need to drill, because that's going to be pretty big. Yeah, it's too big. Take a bunch out here and see if we get a size that works. That's a little too big. There's a few that are obviously way too big. You might work. So put you there. And a little bit bigger. Too big. So many different drill bit sizes, with many options. That's going to be perfect. That's the winner right there. I'm just going to switch glasses out here because I'm close enough that I can see, but I don't need it right up in my face. So I'm going to start going through all these. This one there, and that one, and that one. At least they're all marked on here, so I'm not doing any guesswork. That can really suck. These little strings of plastic. One thing I will say that's really good investment if you're going to be building models and doing this kind of stuff is to invest in one of these little hand drills. When I was younger, I never had one, and what I would do is I'd just take my X-Acto knife and I literally do the same thing I'm doing now. I just take the X-Acto knife and take the tip, put that in the spot, and then just twist and twist and twist and twist like that until it started to go through, and then just only let the X-Acto knife go through far enough to get the size of the hole that I wanted. It's not a very efficient way of doing it, so I don't recommend it. Plus, it's very easy to make the hole way too big with just one twist of the blade. Or even make it like oblong and not even perfectly round. Okay, so we have another one here. I actually was watching a YouTube video this morning where a guy was using one of these, and it had a neat little feature on it. The whole thing was shaped like a corkscrew almost, and it had this little cylinder on it, and as the cylinder rode down on it, it twisted the thing for him. So basically the guy could just hold it and just slide this thing up and down like this, and the thing twisted like a drill. It was pretty neat. But at the same time, and so what I don't like with this particular one is not marked in here. So is it one of these? That it's actually supposed to go through. This one at the front is marked right there. That one isn't for some reason. Now, it's only showing one hole here, but yet there's three. So I guess I'm just supposed to pick one. Oh, there is one. It's just not in that same spot that it's showing. Here's one. Right there. Okay. That changes things. I'm glad I didn't drill out one of these three holes. There we go. Right there. Just making sure that there's no burrs on the holes. Nice and smooth. Don't even need a knife for it. Just shove the bit back in through it from this side. Anyway. There we go. So that's one side. One side done. It'll be interesting what happens with all of these holes. Okay, that side's done. Move on to this side. Might as well start in front here. This side is shown like it's on the floor. Then there's seal or feel anything on the floor. So about this level. There is this tiny little notch right here. I don't know if that's what it's referring to make sure there's a hole there. Yeah, because there's no notch on this side. So I guess they want you to make sure that hole. Yeah, right there. It's kind of. That'll do. Just puts a tiny little notch on this side. Make sure it's that correct size. Not too small. Okay, so we'll move back here to this one. This one. Beside each other. Maybe on right side. Close enough. Then 3/4 of an inch anyway. And we've got 1, 2, 3. Let's see, this is tough on the thumb and the wrist here. Doing this so much twisting. Okay, so that's all the holes from the inside. Let's clean them up a little bit from the outside here. So, all our holes are drilled now. I can put this away. Now they want me to take the other side. They want me to glue in all the windows. All the windows and this piece. Just to definitive spot for it. So I will just add some glue. Sit for a minute, and I will get my clear windows to the sides. I want 17, 19, 19, 19. So we'll look around rectangular. I guess technically they're all rectangular. It's kind of strange. We have one window here that has no number on it at all, except maybe it might be another 17. Maybe all three of them are. Weird. Oh well. So, where did my knife go? And that was stupid of me. So we got 1, 2, 3. I felt one hit my foot. Need no flashlight. Keep the phone on my foot. Yes. There. It's caught on the fibers of the carpet and didn't want to be picked up. Okay, let's move this here for now, because I need to get the extra off of these. Okay. Garbage. Garbage. Technically, this part of the glass that I'm cleaning up is not actually going to be seen. It's going to be on the inside. It's not really the point. I want it crispy clean. I could technically just take these and snip right there. Does a very similar job, maybe even a little better. It's a little more precise of a cut. In this case, it might be a little better, so I think I will use the snips on the rest of them. The rest of them, there's only one more. Windows have always been a tricky thing to put on without getting glue anywhere. It's so very easy to get glue on the clear where you don't want the glue, and then of course you can always wind up touching it with your finger or something like that. Something I've never done before. I'm going to put that in there first, and I'm going to use the thin set using capillary action to see if that will glue it in nice. I could technically put them all in first. One. There we go. Okay, now that should hold them. I can actually see as I touched it, it went around the window maybe about halfway or so. So now they should all stay in there. Yeah, they're staying. I'm going to have to do the same around this because it's not quite wanting to stay where it's supposed to. You kind of lift it away from the fuselage a little bit. So, do that. Get some glue there, and then hold it for a minute. If I had any kind of a clamp that would hold it lightly, I would use it, but I don't. My clamps are way too harsh. They really clamp hard, and I don't need that much clamping force on this, just a little bit. So I just, well, I gotta hold it for a little bit. Well, I guess I can do the other side. What's the next step? I want me to put the interior in on this side. There's little tabs that go along the bottom here. You can kind of see them. There's one there, there's one back here. Where this is going to slide almost in between there. There's one that goes on top, and then there's one further along that goes underneath, and then another one up top. So you get that perfect alignment in there, in theory. Half an hour already? Wow. bottom. Looks like it's going to stay. I'm just going to put a little more glue there just to make sure. That or hold it. Now, it warns me to watch out for the alignment. Goes in there. And it basically just lines up. Alignment on there is no problem. So here. Seems okay. Okay, that's in. So I'm going to do a similar thing. I'll just run some glue along the edges of the thin set. But I actually don't have any access. See how this is shaped like this? I don't have any access to this area on the other side. So I'm going to put some glue on that first. Let's take this out of here. So I'm going to put some glue on here to help it stay there. Okay, there we go. We are in. All right. That, this side is done. As far as I can tell, I'll find out when I flip the page. That's what we're looking at so far. tight. That's a good sign. Let's see what awaits us on the next page. The other side. We have a new piece coming in. So let's do the windows first. I'm just going to put this aside for a minute so that I can focus on this and our clear pieces. So again, this. There, so I'll flip you on the floor again. Kind of. We have a new piece here, and it's got its own, which is this one here. But I'm not ready for that yet. What did I say about flipping one on the floor? Better this time. Done. Done. Clean up on that one to do. Big one. Okay. Clean these up. So this piece here, I think I gotta paint it. So I'm not actually ready for assembly yet of the two halves. Although it appears so in the book, there's not much to do. I need to get that thing painted to match it up. Otherwise I'll wind up having to mask off a whole bunch of stuff on this, although it's all the same color right now, so. But also at the same time, there is detail on the walls inside here that I want to put a little bit of weathering on. Use some of the Tamiya panel line accent color to highlight them, so that when you look inside you can see it. Even though inside it's going to be fairly dark, there's not a lot of windows on this thing. Speaking of which, let's get these put in place. I think maybe this glue has revolutionized the way I'm going to install windows in the future. The fact that this glue just instantly runs in between the seams so effortlessly. Okay, so I'm going to put this down and take a look at this piece. This is number 16. As we said before, this thing doesn't have any letters on the trees. Well, that was another thing that I did after it was all done. Now, I showed you this box earlier. This is a big friggin' box. This thing's long, right? So each tree was also that long. So what I did is I cut them all in half. Since we don't have any A, B, C, D, or E, so I cut them all literally in half. So I have them in a smaller box. So I don't have to worry about them. So those look like what we're looking at, but they're not. There's a window in that one. So let's go with this guy. This guy here. It's like, oh, I want to come off, I want to come off. Not yet, not yet. Yeah, this is the door here. So that definitely needs to be painted. Knife. And for sure needs to be painted before I put a little window in there. So, it's my table set up. Looks like this thing is going to be actually functional. I'll be able to lower and raise it. That's what it appears. So anyway, they're telling me not to glue it in, so take this side first. A whole lot. So the fact that it's already 7:15, I don't have time. I don't think I'm actually going to get this thing together tonight. But that's okay, because we already got the cockpit put in, windows put in. I have to find this, I guess it's the main rotor shaft, number 22. Number 22, where are you? Not there. Something that looks like a shaft. So far, I'm not seeing it. There it is. 22. Right there. I also needed at this one, number 23. Number 23, they don't want me to even paint it. They want me to number 23 is for the tail rotor. This is just going to slide through there. And that's it. Through that hole right there. Maybe. Just a tight hole. I think I might have to smooth that out a little bit, because that's, what's the point of gluing it if it's never going to spin? Or what's the point of not gluing it if it's so tight it won't spin? Make sure it's gonna be what we need it to be. It's just a little too. Needs a little cleanup, maybe. See how that is now. Oh, so much better. And I'll be able to actually turn it. Even though it's nowhere near perfectly round. That's okay. That's alright. Okay, and let it dry, flip that over. Get the other side done. This side I will do 2 coats on there, because it is the outside. The inside, because it's just going to sit up in here. I'm not going to see the inside part very much, if ever. I mean, I might. So I'm not seeing any hinge here, so I guess this is always open. I thought there was a ramp that goes down. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is the ramp. No idea. I have no idea. This one also, this is going to go up in there, so I want to make sure this is nice and tidy, although they want me to paint it. So you notice so much of this they want me to paint, like they want this part of it here, the bottom, they want that painted the olive/yellow mixture. But throughout this whole build, they are assuming that I'm painting this thing the green camouflage color, and I am not. So this is just simply going to be gray. I could have probably gotten away with just spray painting this whole thing the ghost gray color and wouldn't have an issue. But instead, I'm going to be doing pieces individually like that. I can take this off of the tray because I'm getting ready to put that in. It appears it's pretty close to how much time I have. Got one more window there. I'm not sure what it's for, so... Oh, you know what that's for? That's for the Jeep. It comes with a Jeep. And I already built the Jeep. But I also made this Jeep pretty worn and weathered, bent bumper, and it had something fall on here, so now there's no glass, and that's what that piece of glass was for. It's supposed to go in there. So this is actually done. Done. try it for its second coat. Done. Continue to clean up this window. Okay, that is ready to go on. And that's going to be it. So, I still have to let this dry completely. It's still a little bit tacky. Put the window in there, and then these two halves will be ready to come together. But I don't have time for it tonight. I've got to get ready. So, this will go in here. That's going to be a crucial thing to remember before putting these two pieces together. Now, one thing I've done is I've done a lot of test fitting over the past couple of days and getting these two halves together just as it sits now. And I've come into a problem. I can get the bottom to fit nice, but it leaves like a gap, like that much. Like, we're talking 1, 2, 3, let's see, an eighth of an inch. An eighth of an inch gap. That's a huge gap. That's frickin', in scale, that's frickin', it's got to be like a foot. Right at the top here, it doesn't want to go together. Now that that's glued in, I'm hoping I'm going to have a better time. But I've even wound up shaving this down just a little bit. In each corner here and here, to try and be, so I can be able to squeeze the thing together and have them fit. But now that this is actually glued in, I'll do a little test fit here, in the hopes that it's going to go together properly. I'm hoping. Can't guarantee it, but I'm hoping. So now that I've got an extra thing to worry about now, and that's this. So, there, that's in there. Okay, so we're good there. Tail rotor's clipped in. Now the top. There we go, that's snapped in. And here we go with our, we have our gap. Look at that gap at the top there. Now I can squeeze that together and it'll hold. Before it would not. But even still, even squeezing it, I've really got to push on that. I'm going to have to glue that, hold this really tight, put tape over that, put my big honking clamp on there, hope that my clamp will hold it. I don't even know if this clamp will hold it. It holds it pretty good. But I could not determine just exactly what it is that's preventing it. I think it's the entire width of the cockpit is too wide as it comes up. It's too wide there. So it's not interfering with anything else. Right? And that's the way that is. That's just crazy. So yeah, so that's going to be next time. That's what we're looking at. There's here's kind of what it's going to look like on the inside. If I can get it might be able to, there's a light up there, you can see in there. And you can see that detail on the inside too. The right angle, looks pretty good. So you can see the detail in there. So I want to get some panel line accent in there, and just so it's a little bit more noticeable in there, right? Then this guy, he's dry now. He's going to go in there. So hook in there, and then just going to sit like that most of the time. Yeah, but that'll have to be next time. I'll have to worry about all these things later. So there we are. So with that, I'm going to call it a night. I will say thank you. Thank you for watching the stream. Thanks for coming out. Do my usual plug. If you want to watch the first part of this, you can check out my YouTube page, Duplicitous_29, or actually on YouTube it's just Duplicitous29. Okay. If you want to see still shots of my past builds, some pictures I've taken of them, different planes and things like that, you can check out my Instagram. That is Duplicitous_29. So you can check that out. And other than that, yeah, watch me live. You can always check out, type in the chat, ask me questions. Nobody seems to ask me anything, but that's okay. I'm here anyway, right? If you happen to watch me live and you want to ask me something, feel free to do so. Anyway, again, with that, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.